It's episode 30. Happy episode 30.
Yeah.
We've got well more than 30 hours
Yeah.
of musical chat, discussion,
Wankfestery.
We were just talking earlier about the Stones, Keith Richards, taking the E string off and open G, and basically everything's just open, and how simple it is, but how those loose sessions like Honky Tonk Woman, the ones they did in America, how you don't have to be a virtuoso musician to have such a cool groove, and it's the simplest thing. Anybody wants to learn to play guitar, take your E string off, tuned open G, and you just hit open strings and you go, holy shit, that's Brown Sugar. Holy shit, that's Honky Tonk Woman.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was watching a YouTube video of, I sort of went down the rabbit hole of Keith Richards and stuff like that. And so he had one video of him with an acoustic guitar showing sort of different tricks he's learned along the way and stuff like that. And
He's probably got them all.
Well, that's what's so interesting. I mean, here you have a guy with so much experience, stuff like that. So it was slightly very interesting to watch him talk about, especially his tunings and stuff like that. I've always heard about it. I think I've slightly indulged in it, but just to see him tear off that low E string, and as he said, he ends up with 5 strings, and the way he tunes it, 5 strings, 3 notes. And then you could just sort of see him like riffing off a couple of Stones songs, and just with the acoustic, you could just hear just the way the strings rang out. I know that song and stuff like that. That was very interesting. So yeah, it seems like a big rabbit hole. Other pop artists are known for that and go down those rabbit holes. Joni Mitchell is sort of famous, as far as I know, for that.
Tunings.
Yeah, all these different types of tunings and stuff like that. And yeah, they are great rabbit holes to indulge yourself in. It's something I've never sort of really gone down, and it's something I've always kind of thought about. But again, to me, it's just like, oh my God, I'm going to go down this, and I don't think I'm ever going to get myself back out of it again.
Yeah, well, we all subscribe to that kind of indulgence now and then. I often look up, just try to find new guitar players doing stuff that just out of the different. There's a Japanese fella. I'm sorry, I don't know his name, Ichiro something, but. I watched it because what he does is he has a gajillion followers, and he's nuts as in his skill level. But he'll take questions. People say, play in this tuning, F, 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 F. Or he'll just call A, B, C, D, E, F. So he'll do that, and then he'll play the most unbelievable piece. You go, how like, people just get better all the time, and you go, how do you do that? Like,
yeah, some people are on a different level for sure.
And then you can, but you strip it right down, and you go the other way. Keith Richards taking one string off. I mean, we'd say the basic definition of a chord is 3 notes, right? Because that gives you so much description. Like it's like 3 dimensions, right? Time, place, and
yeah. Yeah, no, it's true, and it's you're just sort of inverting chords around, sort of that 5-string 3-note thing. I totally get it, because you might be redundant on a lot of notes, but you start hearing things that you wouldn't have otherwise, and it's the nomenclature of the way the strings are and the strings are tuned that you end up with different things. Same thing with piano and.
I was just gonna say, I also watched it because I know we both listen and watch the same thing. Hearing the mix of The Long and Winding Road without all the orchestration stuff. I just heard it in the car yesterday. And I went, wow. Because I imagine the piano part was so much more elaborate when I hear everything, because I'm hearing overtones and notes that I could attribute to the piano in my head. Or sometimes you even make up ghost melodies in your own head. You think you hear things when they're not really there, but you're hearing notes appear. So when I heard just the piano, basically the bass and the drums, it's still as beautiful, but it just made the piano part. I went, gee, I could learn that.
Well, do you
know what I mean? Like he's same thing on the piano, 3 notes here and there.
Are we having a conversation about this specific song about the Long and Winding Road? We got 5 minutes to do it. Okay, so the Long and Winding Road. So you're used to the Let It Be version with the strings and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So you're aware that McCartney was not happy with that at all.
Yeah.
That it was Phil Spector that put all the strings and stuff like that.
Wall of sound.
Yeah. So I must say I enjoyed it only because it was slightly different from sort of George Martin's orchestrations, and I thought it sort of worked well with McCartney's brilliant vocal that sort of went off with the warbles and stuff like that. I thought it sort of worked well. It never was sort of a big song for me. I always thought it was just sort of a simple sort of jazz song. When you strip it down, it is a lot more simpler. McCartney revisited that song in his solo career in '84, and he actually did a jazz version with a saxophone. And it really, it got very syrupy, and you could tell. It was a standard with him playing his live shows in the 70s. And he really sort of jazzed it up, and it sounded like almost like a crooner song, something that you'd hear in a piano bar and stuff like that. So,
it's so perfectly written in that style that it almost is a parody of itself.
Yeah,
because it may have been the most maligned song in their whole repertoire because of Phil Spector's treatment of the saccharine lyrics and the saccharine formulaic, chord structure. I love it.
I found,
I absolutely love it.
I agree with you.
And any way I hear it, I seem to love it. Although I'm not sure if I'd like this jazzed up version. And I don't go and search out other versions. If I bump across them on YouTube, this is cool.
Yeah, it's just interesting how sort of an artist can if McCartney wouldn't have revisited that song in so many different other ways, it sort of wouldn't have spoken out to me what I didn't want it to be. I grew up with the Let It Be version with Phil Spector, and I love it. I think it's a brilliant vocal, against that kind of stuff. So, just sort of that's my long and winding road.
Yeah, I always feel bad that we always bring stuff back to Beatles stories, but it's true. I think that probably 3/4 of all popular musicians today.
Now, why would you feel bad about that?
Well, because it's been dredged through the swamp so many times. Every Beatles story, every kind of reference to the Beatles writing this way or a different style of music, but. You talk and you do what you know, and you know what you grew up on, and that's just it. I mean, I'm always reminded.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong?
Although I heard silly love songs, I'm thinking, Paul.
You can get away with that stuff, I did want to mention today's September 6th. It's been a while since I've known what episode we are, episode 30, September 6th. By the way, I even had to write a note to myself that today's my son's 19th birthday, Spencer. Happy birthday, Spencer. And I think that Kira is taking him out tonight, but I know we're having a big family dinner tonight. Ribs and sushi. That was his selection.
That's a good combination. Wow,
yeah, it should be fun. Woo. Yeah, 19. Yeah, he's pretty excited. And anyway, so I've mentioned that, so I feel that, my business is out of the way. And I'm wondering now, this episode, by the way, coronavirus is still with us, but it seems to be taming down a bit. Once in a while, I forget to wear a mask in a store and people look at me kind of funny. I don't know if that's where we are from now on, but
I think it's getting worse. I think the numbers have been going up in a lot of the provinces, and I think I hear a lot of places are now making masks mandatory everywhere you go now.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I would hope that masks aren't mandatory for the rest of eternity. I hope and pray for my children and all the new people. At some point, I would say no, I'm not doing that. No,
It certainly makes life slightly discomforting to go out with a mask on all the time. I find it mostly just as a human being, not being able to smile at people. Just sort of those cues that I always like to give to people to thank people. And I was out in the parking lot with my mom. We went grocery shopping. We had our masks on, and somebody was from driver's ed was trying to do a parking job right beside my car, and and I was walking to my car, and I said, no, don't try it, because I didn't want them to damage my car.
Of course, this is what they're seeing.
Right, so the guy, the driver, the guy in the passenger seat, I guess, the teacher said, "What's your problem?" And I was trying to smile. It was not a big deal to me. I was going no with a smile on. I had to put my mask down, and as soon as he saw my smile, that was the end of. But those type of cues, as being a human being, I think make it a lot more difficult.
You're absolutely right.
To talk to people and communicate.
I usually smile at people. I know Kristen would probably disagree, but I do smile at people. And now I'm noticing, I'm looking at people and The only way you can tell is sometimes the eyes twinkle in, you know.
Yeah, that's just seems to be the only cue. But yeah, being a human being and the face is such an important.
Absolutely, and it's funny how if you project 100 years in the future, you know, this world could be no longer racist, but maybe maskist, like in the fact that maybe half the population wears masks and believe them, and they live on one half, and the unmasked that believe that live on the other half. That could be the ultimate stereotype, is the masked or not masked person.
Yeah, well, I hope that it doesn't come to that lame thing to separate people.
Well, we won't be here that long to worry about it anyway.
That'd be because the asteroid's just going to, as I always said, it's like the guy that gets cancer, gets it resolved, walks out on the street from the hospital and gets hit by a bus. I mean, it's not going to be one thing. I get The Economist. I just read today the magazine, and they were talking about all the different other various viruses that are out there that are possible, and
lining up waiting for their turn. Let me try to kill them.
I got halfway through reading the article, and they talk about this current coronavirus mutating and its ability to
and reinfect.
Yeah, and then I had to stop reading.
Happy times.
I went, woohoo. So I've sent you a song, but before you play it,
okay.
Couple things about it, and I must say, slightly. I wish I could. I wish you could hear this song. You know, you talk about how you hear stuff, and so lately we've been playing stuff on your beautiful computer. However, stuff's coming out of your computer speakers. And it'd be nice to play, especially this song, out of a nice sound system and stuff like that, instead of your computer speakers. But
I can play it from over there.
No, you can. But it just got me to thinking. So this week I got a brand new pair of headphones. My other headphones, my studio headphones, had broken, and I was trying to think about.
So, how much you spend on headphones?
Well,
folks, because he's on headphones half the day.
Yeah, so I actually ended up getting the same type of headphones that I have, and they were like $200, but I was amazed at how many headphones are out there, and I mean, people can spend $1,000 on headphones, which just seems.
Did you go and listen to a whole bunch?
No, I was just, so this is the thing. So I want to be consistent on how I hear things as best as I can, and it's interesting on how people hear music these days, as opposed to back then, where people usually had sound systems in their living rooms and stuff like that. And it's not only me. I mean, you hear about people that make movies and stuff like that, how people digest, how people communicate, in what forms are they watching, whether they're listening to it on their smartphone and stuff like that. Or whether they're getting the treatment on through nice speakers and stuff like that. It happened a few weeks ago when I played you that song with the guitar solo and stuff like that, and we played it on these small speakers and stuff like that, and you thought that it was sort of out of tune, so I went back to my place and I played it loud, and it seemed to be sound better to me loud than hearing us on the. But it's that thing that. People listen to a song on so many different soundscapes, and it's trying to find that middle ground where things sound good on even a good system or a bad system. You know, when you talk about in a studio, people have reference speakers, and so some of these studios have the nicest reference speakers, and on top of the nicest studio speakers ever in the world, they have a piece of tin can speakers.
Well, usually they have Yamaha NS10Ms.
Yes.
Those were the standard near field, everybody's speaker. You put it through those things, and that's the way it's going to sound. Because for years, what Byron's talking about, for years and years, we would be in a studio and you'd play it back and you go, that sounds so good. And you'd take it anywhere else and you go, what happened to it? What happened to it? You know, and it took all of us a long time to figure out, you know, to get that set of speakers you like. Because I never liked those Yamaha NS10Ms. I thought I didn't like the MIDI high end of their sound. I thought it was very brittle. To me, I mean, I'm not an expert, but that was just my own take. These little, I have some Rocket 5s there. I like them. I find them to be nice and compact. I can play things back at a louder level. It sounds decent. And even at lower levels, they sound pretty good. But it's to get to know your speakers. Like you said, you bought the same headphones because you knew that sound, and you said, I need to hear that sound the same way.
Yeah, as close as I can. Yeah, and so it's just trying to find like a reference and how people play back things and stuff like that. I just find that interesting about how things translate and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm kind of. I wish you could play this on a nice system. Only because this song, Steve did the music for, and this is a song that Steve just sort of put together the backing tracks.
Over there, you entertained the whole audience for a second.
Steve asked me to get together the backing tracks, and he said put something on top of it. So at one point I said, sure, I'll put something on top of it. So one of the things that Steve did to it was he put down some drums and a bass and some keyboards off of his new audio suite, Logic. Is it Logic or Logic Pro?
Logic.
Just
call Logic 10.5.
Yeah, so, and one of the things that he added to the track that he put together was he put a little part of somebody who was whistling. So there's just like a little whistle on the track. And so, yeah, one day I got my email and that's what he gave me. So at some point I sort of took the song and sort of the whistle was although it was slightly innocuous.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that'll be good. But I need Steve to sit in the chair and really experience this because
this is a reaction video live, real time. Sorry, I just brought the old keyboard over.
So the whistle was a bit innocuous because it was only a little sample. However, I thought it was super important. Sort of, it gave me sort of the clue to the song. And it just became just sort of the 70s vibe, some dude that was walking. And it just got me to these certain type of people I meet in my life. These people that ornamental accessories, find their individuality. These dudes that walk down the street that are all sort of dressed up with their... and I'm even more sort of interested watching today is a big thing, people with tattoos. And some of these people have tattoos, I guess sleeve tattoos and stuff like that.
They get their whole arms done.
Yeah, and I almost like sort of wonder when I see that, like what's next? Like when you fill up your arm.
I think you get your tattoo covered with real skin tattoo.
Well, almost. And for somebody who's trying to find their identity, sort of like musically, you can go on to the next song. You can just sort of keep going on. Artists sort of go on to the next painting and stuff like that. But if you use your body sort of as your palette,
that's a finite amount of work you can
and
get
I find even artistically, I think less is more as far as tattoos are concerned.
It's not unique anymore.
Yeah, I really lose it when everybody's got... So anyways, I just thought of this dude that's just sort of filled with tattoos and he's all filled up. And and I just sort of took your song and I just sort of pared it down to 2.5 minutes. The videos really got less... I just sort of took some elements from the 70s and I used part of a video that you gave me that you did with a guy named Rick.
Oh, okay. Well, Rick McGee.
Yeah,
Busted.
Yeah. So go watch your.
Well, we can watch it from here.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna have to do, right?
Okay, that'll be good.
Here we go.
All decked out, I'm all spaced out in the wrong century. I'm all tripped out, me and Rhubarb Skunky, looking through my Gaussian filter. I got no more room for one. The best things come at the end. It only gets good at the end. I'm all decked out, I'm all spaced out in the wrong century. I'm all tripped out, me and Rhubarb Skunky, looking through my Gaussian filter. I got no more room for one more tattoo.
Sorry about
Yes, I did.
that. Good. Oh, I liked it. It was really neat. It's funny how, I'm imagining what you're going through and what you're putting it down, and I'm thinking that the word's going to come a lot more staccato, rapid fire when, you put these whole tones, and it's kind of neat. I like it, It's almost hypnotic over top of the thing.
Yeah, I just tried
It
to make it
changed the
different.
music completely.
It went through variations.
You
as
got
a
my
picture.
my favorite part. You took it right out.
I tried to keep it in as long as I could.
That's
and
okay.
I
But
had
now
to,
I'm going to make a new song out of the middle eight.
I had to start making decisions that sort of fit in my head and stuff like that.
That's
So,
great. No, I love it.
Because we get with the big thing was the vocal in the chorus. I tried to, we talk about vocals. I tried to give it a very sort of humana. I got no.
Are you talking the close mic thing?
Yeah,
I didn't hear it so much.
Well, the chorus. To me, it was just sort of longer notes, and it's just sort of drifty, and it seemed like something from the 70s, like.
It's just sonically somehow I didn't get this. It sounds.
Okay, well, so I ended
Sounds
up.
good,
Okay,
I'm
well,
just saying.
yeah, I ended up. I guess I ended up adding some reverb to just to get it to swim a bit. I had it completely dry, which sounded really cool to me. But it was almost very strident, just that very dry, in your face sound and stuff like that.
You have to be brave to let that out. But if you live with that for a little bit and listen to it, like I'm telling you, like I say, some things that I think are really awkward, if I hear them 4 or 5 times and don't change them, I start to like it because it's weird.
Yeah, it's living with things, right? And it's finding out whether that after a week you still have a taste for what you've done and stuff like that, and it's learning to let things go. We just talked about Keith Richards, and one of the interesting things I think I remember Keith Richards talking about, and the things that he was saying about the studio is, so this is about working by yourself. But one of the big things that Keith Richards mentioned about songs is that he loves to bring a song into the studio and sort of bring it to the band and have the politics of the talent sort of like massage
the best parts
yeah
out,
and have different thoughts and stuff like that. And he said it's the best way to go. And the more that we do this thing, and I talk about all the stuff I've done myself and stuff, the more sort of this is sort of the glass is half full, half empty. But I realize just sort of these talks about these. Sometimes it's hard to sort of digest it yourself when you don't have somebody else sort of with you to play off of. And stuff
absolutely.
Like that. And
because sometimes you think, am I crazy? Is this any good?
Yeah.
Either it's the best thing mankind's ever produced and nobody's recognized, or I'm completely lost.
So I've had a couple of schizophrenic days about this song specifically. Not that and I have other schizophrenic days about other songs and stuff like that. And it's sort of I recognize it's the process you go through. But there were times that I would listen to it and I go, what the fuck am I doing? And I got to play it to Steve, and Steve did the music for it. And I said, he's just going to laugh at me. I said, what am I doing? And this is the same song the day previous I thought was the greatest thing since sliced bread or something, at the time. I just kept playing it.
We all have these crazy self-doubts.
You go like, what is going on and stuff like that. So you just got to sort of keep playing with it. But I'm determined to have something at the end that I really like. And so... but this song would be a song that I would not have done without you giving me what you gave me. Like, I just wouldn't have sort of gone in that sort of...
Yeah, which is the beauty of throwing shit out there.
Which is why I appreciate it. And I love that whistle. To me, the whistle was the funniest part about it, but it was just sort of the little key. I think every song's got to have its sort of little... Every song is different,
signature.
right?
Something you go, oh yeah, that song. It has the crazy.
Yeah, so that was so much the clue to the thing, and that was why it was such a fun little rabbit hole to go down. So you and I, that's the song that we did.
I liked it, and I liked the way you used Rick's stuff in it because it fit perfectly. Because it really was kind of the impetus for the whole thing, right? Right from the start, when we first watched Rick's thing, and I went, man, I love that '70s Philadelphia groove that I think he accidentally fell upon. Like, I think he was just doing something he thought was a cool song, which it is a cool song, but he did like 50 with Scott. I'm not sure that he heard the genius that we all hear in it. You know, we're hearing this low end, really cool Philadelphia, like detective 70 movies kind of music. I don't think Rick heard it like that.
What was the name of Rick's song, by the way?
Busted.
But what was he doing in the song? Is that what he kept saying? Busted or something like that?
Oh no, flop shop.
Oh yeah.
I say, what is a flop shop? I think Scott and I were talking about it. It might be a place where you take stolen cars to get torn apart. A flop shop? I don't know. Somebody tell us what a flop shop is. It's Rick's nomenclature, like it's his word. Maybe it means nothing but flop shop, flop shop.
Okay.
So that was good. I like that. And so it goes from whistle to tattoo.
Yeah, and you said I spelled it wrong. I'm even horrified to think about it. I put it on my YouTube channel. I can't believe I got it wrong.
I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look.
Don't ruin my day. Don't ruin my day. No.
Tell you what, you don't look at me. I'll just look it up myself.
No,
I don't care. I can tell you it's wrong just by looking at it.
Why doesn't
Let's see it.
No, I meant to do it incorrectly.
It's pronounced body piercing. Yeah, see? Tattoos.
I need another T in it? Holy jeez, what a loser.
Well, that's all
okay,
right.
no, but I almost think...
Well, that's a hard one because
mine is the...
I always forget stuff.
Mine is the Irish spelling.
That's true. That's the one from Fantasy Island.
And it wouldn't
Hervé
fit.
Villechaize.
It wouldn't fit. I couldn't fit the T in.
No, you couldn't.
Maybe I should just write the T in.
We just have to rewrite the song.
Is that terrible?
It doesn't fit.
No, but seriously,
actually, you know what? I like this because people might think, is that the guy's name? Tattoo.
Okay.
Tattoo.
No, do you think it's so stupid that I should fix it?
No. You know what? Like, here I go back to the Beatles. When Paul, remember I mentioned I heard this interview with Paul talking about them wanting to correct each other's lyrics sometimes and realizing that, oh, that line's pretty good, mate. I'd keep it if I were you. He was talking about, oh crap, I'm kind of forgetting.
Yesterday.
No, I'm just trying to, the song I just immediately forgot, but same thing. He was saying, oh, I know what it was. And here's a clue for you all. The walrus is Paul. He said that John Lennon went, oh, that's so fucking lame. And Paul went, no, you know what? It'll just add to that Beatles mystery that's out there. They'll be wondering what that means and they'll be deciphering it. I thought that's perfect. That's exactly it. You know, like leave it in there.
But he spelled it properly though.
Yeah, but it is kind of a stupid line if you think about it. For how genius they were with lyrics and all, it seemed to be like a spoon-fed conspiracy line to me. It always felt that way. And then when I heard Paul McCartney talking about it, saying, no, I told him it was good, keep it. It adds to the mystery. I thought if I was John Lennon, I'd go, yeah, but no, that we don't have to add fuel to the mystery.
Instead of changing my video, maybe I should just add an extra line on the song, like sing irregardless. And it would be a song of
maybe put
mispronunciations,
parental
and
advisory off the top.
Bad grammar. Yeah, I said this was good for kids.
But you go and you make up a whole language on your own and it doesn't bother you.
No, I guess that's good. I can't believe I've lived with that for 2 weeks and I just didn't.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you had to spell tattoo in your life? Not many. Do you want to say that's a good half?
Yes, that's a good half.
All right, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Strange as it seems. I'm just following. It You're asking me the blue. I should take you out. I could take you. Heavy yank on your your head shake.
Back. So this song from my album Coy Paradixio, so if you, obviously nobody's watched this previously, so Forest in the Trees, probably nobody's watching this now, but if you didn't know, whoever's not listening, I did have cancer, so this is what I consider my cancer album, or it's the album I wouldn't have done if I succumbed to cancer, so there you go. So this was sort of, this track in itself, now I got into all sorts of, we've talked about sort of my lyrical content, and I think a lot of songs on Coy Paradixio, I sort of made words up and stuff like that. I got into this thing about titles and my ambivalence to titles and sort of making up my own languages and stuff like that and own words. So this song is, and I think at the time it made, I knew how to articulate it. I almost don't know how to articulate it now, but it's called Morae Spinae, Spinae. It was just sort of, yeah, it's Morae Spinae. But I considered this one my cancer song, and it only became that way because when I was working on the song, it had a tone to it that was very ominous. There was something unearthly to the tone. It had some women's voices that I had on it. I think Susie was on it, and so several other women that I think was either sampled or I recorded. But however, it just had this vibe to it that was completely otherworldly, and it just slowly became that sort of vehicle that I wanted to just sort of say, okay, I had cancer, and I just am thankful that I'm here to sing about it. It was a very sort of simple, it's very sort of sparse sounding. I think this song would sound better on 5-1, where it was just sort of an oral treatment and stuff like that. The best thing about this song is that we had your daughter, Kira, come in, and I considered her to play sort of the part, sort of an otherworldly, sort of like a goddess, somebody who beats cancer, and it was just sort of a simple idea that I just wanted to use, and Kara was up for it, and yeah, so it's my little thank you to just being still alive, I guess. Without being maudlin about it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's my little out to that. I haven't seen it in since I've done it. And who was there was a lad that did some of the animation. Trevor
Goulet?
Yes, Trevor Goulet. Super smart guy who helped me sort of shepherd in the end of this. I think he was one of the guys that helped me just sort of put this together and put it on my own website.
And this was filmed all during a section where Byron and I just filmed for probably a couple of months around the studio and invited Kira in and pretty well got all the video captured of you singing your lines, Kira doing her bits, and it was just all a very tight creative space here. So this is just, again, one of the songs from the album, and of course let me get it back up, ready to go.
It's wonderful, I must say, to go back and watch this. This was the time of my life. This was so wonderful, even more importantly about these things. I'm sure for Kira as well, just seeing herself, how old would she be? 17?
Yeah, so it'd be about 8 years ago. She's 25 now.
Yeah, so it's just a great little time capsule for everybody.
Okay, here we go. Let's watch it.
It's giving you good game. I wish I could have that one back again. I had to go and save my life. So thank you. I took you to the cleaners. I've played it back in my head so many times. I'm so sorry for you, 'cause you finally got to me. Promise you, you're gonna get yours too. I'm telling you.
Wow. Holy jeez. I don't remember a lot of that in the music. I just remember a lot of that sort of, wonderful.
For those of you wondering, no, she's not naked. My son asked me the first time he saw that. He went, no, she's representing the innocent, pure, young
yeah.
person that is clean of health and all. And that was the idea. Was she's grabbing your cancer and squashing it.
Very much so.
And I was just laughing at our efforts at the special effects there because the little light kind of bounced around.
Yeah, and you know what? I've never noticed that before, and just sort of seeing that now. But it's almost cute to watch it. It's just it's so real in a way.
I think it was very well done in that she's a ham, so she likes to act.
Yeah.
But it without saying anything, it said so much.
Very much. It was lovely. It was lovely. I'm a bit surprised at some of the music at the end with that sort of drums coming in and stuff like that. I don't remember it that way at all. But I obviously there's.
What about the guitar solo in that? I thought I almost heard one of my lines backwards in there. But I mean, I know you draw from all kinds of stuff.
Right. So I mean, I'm listening to it and going, maybe I shouldn't have gone one more part extra toward the end. But with me, I mean, there's just so much music and stuff like that. It's crazy times. So
and you had no idea at the time of recording the song what a video might be, really, because the album meant what it meant to you.
Yeah.
And then you're just trying to apply the same thing to a visual sense. Luckily, we had Kira to pull up and go, "Can you be the young innocent thing to do this?"
Yeah. I'm somewhat vexed sometimes when I listen to my stuff, and I just wonder what I was thinking and stuff like that. But I'm almost. It's wonderful in another way because it's just sort of where my head was at and stuff like that. Obviously, I just can't keep it all in. But it's so.
It was funny because this album had the cancer thing in it. Obviously, the whole end of your relationship with Tracy, the extraction of yourself from Dark Skippy Records in a sense, just because it kind of was all just going different ways at that point.
So that was probably the best part. So, yeah.
And so this album meant a lot of things, and but I always saw the reoccurrence of the hockey references because this one so many times, like, I've always given you good game. I wish I could have that one back. How many times have goalies said, I'd like that we could have that one back. I just misread it and it went under my glove.
Well, it's interesting that you picked that up. Yeah, absolutely, and it's got something to do with the previous song that we played with the previous episode, the Red Light Chronicles. Yeah, so people call me Red Light and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely a hockey reference and stuff like that. That was wonderful to look at. That was
And it was very poignant in the sense that was the crux of the album, in the sense that you did make that final save, and it was pushed forward because of playing hockey. Like, it's just so weird. The whole story is so weird, and you have to go back and watch all the
Right.
Byron Chronicles.
I mean, at the end of it, I found out I had cancer through a hockey injury. So if I didn't get the hockey injury, I probably wouldn't be here. So thank God for getting a hockey injury.
It's bizarre. You'll have to watch the Chronicles though to know the whole story. Anyway, so that was, and what was the name of that one?
Well, it was Morae Spinae, I think is the pronunciation. I think I had some sort of Italian sort of, I was trying to look for some sort of technical dance term that just sort of meant a dance of health and stuff like that. I don't know how I came up with that. Sometimes I've Googled some of these phrases, and it's awesome when I sometimes Google it and it only comes up with my hit. So I love. I think somebody's got a game where they try and find words and stuff that that Google can't find.
Yeah, you think it's really genius in one way and horrible in another. Like, you're making it so no one will ever find your stuff. But if they do misspell something, you might come up.
Like tattoo.
That'll be the next
That's
album.
terrible.
Learn to spell.
Yeah, learn to spell tattoo. So there's one more song, but I want to save it for next time. It's a real enjoyable ride. I forgot I sort of did it. It's the title track. There's a bit of a story behind it, and I'm actually going to repost a video for it on my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to add a few things, but well, it's a song about.
That's it?
No, it's called Coy Paradixio.
Okay,
and,
well, the title track, right.
Yeah, it's a song about an impresario that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody wants to entertain you, and nobody goes home happy.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm terrible with titles.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful
Especially made
lament
up
because it's somebody in the song, somebody that's got dancing bears and elephants on stilts and sword swallowing, fire eating, half man, half girl. Somebody who puts on a big show. But at the end of the day, there's a certain schadenfreude that comes in where all you want to do is kill the person. And at the end of the day, nobody goes home happy.
Yeah, I always am, reference back to one of your lines from, I think it was Bite Down Hard. I hope she dies before I awake.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, but I just hope things work out for me.
Seriously, yeah. If only an asteroid would fall at a certain place and time and stuff like that.
Well, it's probably going to soon, the way things are going. I think the Yellowstone super magma crater is going to blow. When that thing goes.
That'd be good. So, look, we're not doing something next week because you're going to be on
a boat.
On a boat.
Oh, I'm going to be on a fucking boat.
On a boat down at on a boat. Mm-hmm. On a boat at the NAC. At the NAC.
I'm not on a boat. I'm on the sidewalk beside the canal, and the musicians are on a boat across the canal.
This is for Blues Fest.
Blues Fest / NAC. It's a series called Chef's Table where they bring in world-renowned chefs and they create a nice meal for, I think, about 200 people who buy tickets. And the back cafe faces the canal right there at the nice spot we were talking about, the building that is underused so much. I think you and I were talking. Maybe it was somebody else.
The conference center.
Yes.
The old train station.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Anyways, so I'm set up on the side with the cafe, and I have 2 or 3 cameras. We shoot the band that's on like a party boat.
Oh, you're doing some video stuff. I thought you were selling balloons. You were telling me.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving the merchandising.
I thought you were doing
because
he's the balloon.
Well, actually,
guy.
it's going to be
You
little
have,
life jackets with Blues Fest and Steve Johnson.
Because you do balloon animal tricks and stuff. Okay, forget it. Okay, go.
So anyways, the band is on a barge across the canal, and we shoot from this side of the thing, and then send it to a big LCD screen that's going to be on the far side of the canal, so the people who are eating can watch.
Wow.
and listen to Byron's intro music and stuff.
Wow. How do you get the signal?
Oh, wireless. We have a little microwave.
Oh, it'll be
receiver
wireless.
So
yeah,
I
so you don't have
mix
to
up-
hold up the wire when the boat's going by. Or
That's right. We're putting it underwater. We're getting frogmen to lay our cable.
the plan was
What?
good till the barge went by and broke our stupid cable.
Yeah, or the otters chewed through the cable.
Or the otters. Those are the NAC otters, aren't they?
The world-renowned NAC otters, performing otters.
The world.
It's like Free Willy. You want to free the otters. Well, I think that'll do it for episode 30. Woohoo!
That was good.
So it is September 6th. We're heading into fall now, and we've
into
got
fall.
lots more coming. And how many more songs on Coy Paradixio?
One more.
Just one more?
We can finish up that.
Then we're going to be caught up to where what I love is that after this is over, we're gonna make you bring out that new album, because this whole thing was sort of brought forth because he had a new album to drop.
Well, there's
as
all.
the kids say.
I think there's about 2 of them sitting there out there now, or 2 or 3 of them sitting out there
Right.
since. Yeah, but the next one after this is called "Wonderfully Stupid." So yeah, that's just sort of sitting there on YouTube.
And I'm thinking that
Got videos.
maybe what we should do is we might change our format a little bit, because you're saying, what are people doing? They don't release albums. I do like a physical product. It's just nice to have that for the $1,000 or $1,500 it costs to have a few albums, just to say, hey, here's the physical thing. But really, everything is released online now, and maybe what we can do is we can change this show. It's basically now a current events show, almost like, here's my new song, here's my new blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you talk about physical things. The thing that still sticks in my head is, especially with sort of my artwork and stuff like that, is in my lyrics. I still think really hard about doing some T-shirts, just with a couple of my bomos and stuff like that, because I think they're really groovy, and I think the words just simply put, just with a cool sort of color T-shirt with a great font or whatever. I still think there's just a great wealth of stuff sitting out there that just with cool sayings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unique Byron statements.
I think that's a good idea. Why not? Because we have the Byron hat somewhere, although it's probably lost around the studio.
I just think it'd be fun things.
Every once in a while, you seem to do something just for fun, and that's the beauty of it. Beauty of it and the horror of it. You don't have somebody else paying for it.
Yeah, you don't. But I go on the internet and I see all these great possibilities, T-shirt prices, stuff like that. All different.
Go to China.
Yeah. That's good.
Trade
Okay.
rules. Okay. See ya.